someone accountable, thanks to the efforts of the men and women of the Traffic Enforcement Division under the leadership of Chief Gaw and Commander Campbell over here. We were able to develop enough information to identify this individual and to have him charged with a Class B misdemeanor. So this arrest came about as a result of this young lady right over here, a mom by the name of Ms. Josephine Kirk Taylor, who on August 28th was waiting for her sweet, precious baby girl, her 5-year-old daughter, Melina, who was at second day of school. She was coming back, and she was being dropped off on the opposite side of the street of Ms. Kirk Taylor here. She happened to be videotaping with her cell phone her little 5-year-old daughter getting off the school bus, when I don't have to explain to you what happened. A driver made the conscious decision to disregard the lights, the flashing lights, and the stop sign that says stop when this little girl was being delivered to her mom. And thank God that that little girl reacted to what I believe is the reckless indifference and the wanton and willful disregard for a state law that's designed to protect the most precious cargo of any vehicle on our roadways, and that's our children. And she was able to save her own life through her own actions. Because if it wasn't for her self-awareness, I believe that we might be having a different conversation today, and we'd probably have a dead little girl. So, Mom was able to realize that she captured this incident, and she reached out to the Houston Police Department. The video showed in the 2500 block of Westerland Drive in our Midwest District, showed the driver of a blue Toyota Corolla ignoring the school bus stop sign and quickly passing the bus, almost striking Melina. On August 29th, the media was advised of the video in a Facebook post. Many of your stations actually covered it, and you covered the story. Again, because of the persistence of Mom, our initial response probably wasn't as good as it should have been, could have been. But nonetheless, because our greatest force multiplier that we talk about a lot in this department is the community itself. Mom persisted, we got our attention, the Traffic Enforcement Division took over, and we were able to get here today. On August 30th, I remember replying to Channel 11 when I saw this on Twitter. I don't know if you know that or not, no. But I seen the video, I saw it on Twitter, and I actually replied that we have passed it on to our Traffic Enforcement Division, because one of the things that we talk about is that social media does a lot of bad things. Cell phones do a lot of bad things, these cell phones that have brought about, but they've also brought about good things. In this case, it brought about evidence of a crime, and then in case of social media, you brought it to my attention, media, when I saw it, and I immediately passed it on to the Traffic Enforcement Division, and thanks to the leadership of these folks, we were able to develop a case. On September 9th, our traffic enforcement investigators, with the assistance again of the Harris County District Attorney's Office Vehicular Crimes Division, filed charges of reckless driving against the driver of the vehicle. The driver is identified as Julio Correas, C-O-R-E-A-S, 18 years of age. Yesterday, September 10th, officers arrested the driver in the late afternoon without incident. He has been cooperative during our investigation. As for traffic enforcement, I'm proud of the fact that this police department and our colleagues with the Sheriff's Department, DPS, and our constables have made keeping our school zones and our school buses safe. Our Traffic Enforcement Division has incorporated radar task force solos, which is our motorcycle officers, truck enforcement, and highway interdiction to assist in a citywide school area safety and enforcement. From August 26th to September 6th, Traffic Enforcement Division, this is just the Houston Police Department, does not include our partners across the county, made over 1,000 stops related to school zones for speeding and other safety violations, and issued close to 1,000 citations. We're going to continue to target people that pass school buses. Our Traffic Enforcement Division is actually following school buses through their routes in unmarked cars, so you don't even know it's a police car that's following them, and they're calling out violations. I'm going to close, and then I'll turn it over to the DA. I'll turn it over to the DA, and then we'll leave you last, or you want to go next? I don't want to make Mom angry. You know how that goes.
No, the DA can have his.
Okay, then we'll go to you. I want to close by just telling the DA's office and Deputy Assistant District Attorney Tier, I wanted to say thank you. Because whether it's this or the racing that's going on in our city, or just last week we made an arrest, I made an arrest coming in of people racing at 110 miles an hour thinking that this is a movie world that we're playing in. Every fatal and injury crash in our city is preventable. Every single one. Although we do a lot of safety inspections on big rigs, because of those inspections, mechanical failure is rarely the issue. It's human conscious decisions to disregard the rules of the road. This year, more Houstonians are dying than last year and the year before and the year before that on our roadways as a result of making poor decisions, as a result of acting like this is a movie out here, the Fast and the Furious. And you know what? That's a movie. This is real life. And if you think about what happened to Paul Walker, who was one of the young stars of the Fast and the Furious in Newhall, California, he was in his Porsche with his buddy driving in a reckless manner. And according to media reports back when it happened, he ends up crashing and burning to death. That's why we enforce the law and traffic enforcement. It's to save lives. It's to not have mothers bury their children, and most certainly, it's not to have to go to the morgue or the hospital. And so with that, I want to just say to our Traffic Enforcement Division, thank you for your just diligent efforts. Thank you, Mom, for, number one, raising a smart child that was able to save her own life, thank God, and for your persistence. Our hope today is that people will listen to this message and make better decisions, because every poor decision puts us all at risk. And it doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor, white, brown, black, Hispanic, Asian, Christian, Jew, Muslim, believer, non-believer. Traffic fatalities impacts every single community in our city, state, and country. And so with that, thanks, Ted. Thank you for the 75% increase in the DWI enforcement this year. 75% increase, you heard it right. People are alive today that would not be alive but for the efforts of your division and our extended HPD family and our DA. So with that, I'd like to bring up our Deputy District Attorney from the Victim Crimes Division, and that's Deputy District Attorney Tier.
Thank you, Chief. First of all, I'd like to start by saying thank you to Ms. Kirktail. We wouldn't be here without her persistence, without the fortuitousness of her filming this incident, and then handing it over to the Traffic Enforcement Division of the HPD. I work with a lot of agencies. This unit is as good as any in the country, I promise you. And sadly, a lot of it is because of the volume, but a lot of it is because of how much they care about every single one of these cases. This case, this individual is charged. You all are going to have his mugshot. This is going to get out. This crime will save lives. The fact that this individual is charged, the fact that our partners with the media are going to take this out and broadcast it, is going to stop this behavior for more people. School is just back in. As the chief said, we are stopping people at an amazing rate, 1,000 in a week or 10 days just from HPD. And the same can be said almost for the sheriff and all of our constables and DPS. We understand how dangerous this is. Let me just tell you how wonderful it is to be up here and not talking about a dead child, not having to be standing on the side of the road with all of these guys, seeing a dead baby and trying to find someone. This time we got him, and thank God it's not around a dead body. But because of this message, the next 17 or 18-year-old that gets out there and sees that stop sign, maybe he'll think twice. Maybe he's going to stop. And maybe that little baby's not terrified. Maybe that little baby, the next one, doesn't have a fear around getting off the bus every day for the rest of her life. This is preventable, just like the chief said. Every one of these, the racers that the chief got last week, the racers that we prosecute every single day on all of our initiatives, Every one of those that we stop and take off the road saves a life. And the chief also talked about the DWI numbers. They are unbelievable. HPD has taken on this task, and they are saving lives. And it's not because there are more drunks out on the road that your numbers are going up. It's because they are out there stopping them. And that means that all of us don't get the call at 3 a.m. to go to a quadruple fatal. That means that lives are being saved. But we're here today to talk about every single reckless act that you can do on the roads. And people need to realize the second you put that seatbelt on, the second you start a car, it's just like you're putting a loaded clip into a firearm. You are getting behind the wheel of a deadly weapon. You have got to be responsible every minute that you're behind the wheel of a car. And if you're not, if you're going to act like this individual did and like so many others, we are going to find you, we're going to charge you, we're going to put you in jail, and we're going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law, because Harris County leads the nation every year in fatalities, and we as a group are here to stop that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on one second. Just want you to- Oh, hi. We're high tech.
411. So I'm not as confident as these guys. I actually wrote something down. So I'm going to read it. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Elohim. And I also want to thank the HPD and all of the people who shared my post and made this video go viral to get justice for Melina. I also want to thank Channel 13, Good Morning America, Fox 26, KHOU 11, Channel 2, CNN, and all other articles who also put this story on their platform to bring awareness to the situation. Fortunately, my situation had a great outcome, and my daughter was protected through the power of the Passover from God. People say that I saved my daughter by telling her to stop, and they say that it was by her mother's voice she was protected. But to me, it really hit home, because we all have a heavenly mother, and she continues to protect me and my children, and she's truly Almighty God. Moving forward, I really hope that we as a community can pay attention and protect our children by following the traffic laws so that this doesn't keep reoccurring. Unfortunately, children have lost their lives due to these matters, but I hope this is a lesson for all reckless drivers to just stop and just let the children cross the street. It takes 10 seconds. I ask that we please follow the law as a community so that our children can stay safe. As Chief and the DA have already announced, my daughter could have been dead if she'd taken one more step. So I want to give thanks for the people who don't even know me, and they shared this video so that my daughter could receive justice. And I want to thank every officer that's up here at this moment to make every effort that this person received a consequence of what they had done. Thank you.
Let me, real quick in Spanish, then we'll turn into questions. Bueno, hoy estamos aquí para anunciar que el video que vimos de una niña de 5 años en el fin de agosto, el segundo día de la escuela, teníamos una mamá que estaba esperando a su niña de 5 años que el autobús de la escuela la llevara para la casa. Y estaba con el video, tomando video de su niña, cuando el autobús paró, tenía las luces rojas, tenía el alto, las señales del alto, y un sospechoso, en vez de parar, como tiene que ser la ley demanda, pasó. Y gracias a Dios que esta mamá y su niña gritó y la niña paró y tomó un paso para atrás. Porque si no fuera las acciones de esta niña y su mamá, estuviéramos aquí hablando sobre la muerte de una niña. La mamá, gracias a Dios, tuvo el video. Cuando se dio de cuenta que tuvo el video, lo mandó en Facebook y fue por todas las redes sociales. Y me acuerdo que yo lo vi en las medias sociales. Inmediatamente lo mandé a nuestra división del enforzamiento del tráfico. Y estoy muy orgulloso que gracias a sus esfuerzos, gracias a esta mamá, pudimos identificar al sospechoso en este caso, y ayer fue arrestado con cargas de manejar recklessly. aquí en esta ciudad. Ayer fue arrestado sin incidente y esto es algo que es importante que esta comunidad sepa, que tienen que respetar la ley, porque muchos de nuestros habitantes están perdiendo su vida y heridos por las acciones de las personas que están manejando sin precaución, que están manejando sin respeto a la santidad de la vida humana. Así quiero que sepan que nuestros oficiales en menos de 10 días han estado tomando un enforzamiento especial en las zonas escolares y pararon a más de 1,000 personas manejando y cometiendo violaciones de la ley del tránsito y casi 1,000 multas han dado. También en las áreas de las escuelas que están manejando los autobuses de la escuela, ningún vehículo en esta ciudad, en este estado, en este país, tiene una carga más importante con nuestros hijos y nuestras niñas. Respeten la ley, porque si no la respetan, estamos persiguiendo los autobuses de las escuelas y estamos metiendo muchas multas. Así que quiero que sepan que estamos aquí para salvar vidas y no vamos a permitir las desgracias en esta carretera, en las carreteras por las estupideces lo que están manejando. So with that, we'll open it up to any questions, and then we'll take it from there. Any questions for us, for any of us?
Chief, you mentioned what you were saying about initially the call that came in, or how this initially started. Any kind of investigation into that? Are you looking into that at all? How that sort of?
Yeah, look, we're a department that, thanks to the efforts of Mayor Turner and the council, that they've made they made a commitment last year to actually add more bodies. We have 5 academy classes going through. We have a lot of young officers, and so we are looking at our initial response because I think we fell short with it. Our job is to document, then investigate. Document the incident, then investigate it. I will say that you all know that I'm a social media user. How's that? I'm an advocate of social media. As bad as it is, it does play it's a great force multiplier. It's a good way to crowdsource, right? I actually saw the video on social media, and I don't remember if it was Kate's or Hughes or which one. All of you, I think I saw all of you. But I immediately sent it to Traffic Enforcement Division. I said, we need to look into this. And that's when Commander Campbell took over. So yeah, we're looking at that. I'm not sure we need to hit anybody with the head of the 2x4, but we need to explain our expectations. And our expectation is to document, gather all the evidence, and then send it up to Traffic Enforcement Division or any other, or the appropriate division to investigate. Because you don't know what capabilities they might have. Sometimes you don't know what might be out there. And quite frankly, when something goes viral, thanks to you, Mom, we can end up getting results. Anything else?
Chief, at the time you said that an arrest was difficult in situations like this simply because an officer wasn't there, didn't see firsthand a car blow past that stopped school bus. So how exactly was an arrest made?
Well, who wants to talk about the investigation? Neil, come on up.
Identify yourself, Commander, for them.
Commander Kenneth Campbell, Traffic Enforcement Division. So how the arrest came about, initially it is hard to make a positive ID of drivers, but we do have unmarked units that follow buses. We do have a lot of other factors that come into play. So Sergeant Egdorf over here, I tasked him with handling this investigation, and he went out and was able to, we were able to do things like, obviously we have vehicle information, so we have home information, and it led to a lot of other factors. And then, I would like to stress too that passing a school bus is illegal, but when you pass a school bus and there's children walking around it out on the ground, there's a mother standing on the other side of the street, you take into account a lot of aggravating factors like speed, the people that are in and around the area, and all those things add up, which constitutes this to the level of reckless driving. And the DA we spoke all about these issues extensively in making the charge. And so that's kind of how the investigation yielded. We take vehicle information, video information that she provided to us was extremely valuable, and we don't stop. If we find someone who's breaking the law, we're going to do everything and anything possible to bring that person to justice.
And you were able to positively identify that individual as the driver?
Yes.
And he's been cooperative. What's
His demeanor is cooperative, and I think he's probably remorseful for what he's done. And he's going to, you know, be accountable for his actions now.
Young driver, what's the message out there? He's probably had a license for maybe, what, a couple of years maybe, or you said it's 18?
Yes, well, for the young drivers, you know, I would say, hey, you're going to have to slow down around school buses. You're going to need to slow down, period. We're out stopping racers. Our chief is out stopping people that are racing. You know, every night, every weekend, we have multiple units from the Traffic Enforcement Division out stopping people who are trying to cause havoc. I know y'all have covered some other stories here recently. And the message is someone's going to get hurt eventually. And our main message is, look, we want to make sure that everyone is safe, and we're going to do so. And you know, we're happy to give a warning here and there, but at the end of the day, if you continue to violate law, or if you do something as egregious as on this particular case, you're going to face county charges on this and be held accountable for your actions.
Let me add something. You know,
Yes, sir.
I want you everybody to just imagine, look at that video, and think about, you know, they say that in football it's a game of inches. Well, life is too. And that young man came within inches, if not a few feet, of going to prison for a long time. So the question you have to ask yourself, and what we want you all to put out, is don't leave it to inches when you can just make the right choice and obey the law. You know, it's like when we talk about traffic safety, we have all the haters, oh, it's about money. No, it's not about money. It's about saving lives, because quite frankly, that's what we're here for. It's not about revenue. I mean, for God's sakes, in Texas, we put more effort into a jury trials and everything else on a, you know, Class C traffic ticket, right? I mean, you got prosecutor, you got the judge, you've got juries. So no, it's not cheap to actually prosecute these cases, but it's important. And what we're hoping that we get out of this is that we learn from it and we all make better choices. Because life's about choices. And when you make the wrong choice, whether it's not stopping for a school bus or racing down the freeway or taking over intersections, where if you lose control, look at those idiots that are doing that. Where if they lose control, there's people all around them. They're going to kill somebody, including those spectators. They're putting themselves at risk. And I'm going to just say something on that. I'm going to go to the legislature. I'm going to ask them to give us forfeiture authority. When we catch those racers in their cars, we want to, they're not responsible. We want to be able to take their cars and forfeit them. So that's coming, because we're going to work hard to pass that law. That's coming. And the more that they do these little sideshows, the stronger the case for us here in Houston and throughout the state to get that law passed. Anything else?
Yeah, you also mentioned your own participation Friday in a high-speed pursuit to chase. Take us through that. What was going on, and you know, how did you go from off-duty in your plain clothes to...
Wait. Well, first of all, let me just say this, because, you know, people think that the media, they think that I have like a film crew with me, you know, and so the haters hate, right? But you know what we do at the Houston Police Department? We just shake it off. Taylor Swift, thank you very much. That's our anthem here. We shake it off. We don't worry about the haters. We worry about results. And I happen to be on the phone going eastbound on the 10 freeway, coming home from an event where I spoke at. And I had just gotten the phone with one of my buddies, retired Chief Adam Cuevas from California Highway Patrol, one of my longtime buddies. And right when I'm on the phone with him, this Charger passes me up at Mach 1, right? So hey, dude, I got to go. And I was tired. You know, I'm old and tired. But I had just seen not too long earlier a tweet from the young man, I think he's from ABC. What's his name? Can't remember his name, blonde-haired kid. Huh? Yeah, Steve. And he had tweeted from a wrong-way driver that had killed some people within an hour somewhere in Houston. And so what I always tell my officers, we're not in the business of putting on blinders, because it would have been easy just to not chase those cars down. But if I would wake up the next day and find out that some family was killed by a green Dodge Charger, I would feel horrible. And so I told, hey, Adam, I gotta go. I started picking up my speed. Now I'm an old bull, so I don't just light them up, because if you light them up, they're gonna get away. So I'm a black Tahoe, and within a matter of seconds, here comes a white Mercedes-Benz. and he passes me, and then they just start racing each other at and they picked it up to about 100, at 110, in and out of traffic and all this other stuff. I think that the Charger must have made me because he got off on Studemont, and at that point, the Mercedes-Benz kept going at 110 miles an hour, so that was a continued public safety threat, so I decided to go after him instead of, you can't go against, if I could split myself in two, I would, but I couldn't. So I went after the Mercedes-Benz, and he got off, transitioned to 45, got off on Dallas, blew the red light at the end of that ramp right there, went through the red light, called for airship and all this other stuff, and that sergeant over there was in the airship as the, he was a tactical flight officer, so we didn't have the very best in the helicopter, but he managed to find me. But the truth of the matter is, I just, it makes me angry because every morning I wake up, I get the murder report, I get the traffic report on people getting hurt in the city, and I'm sorry, every life in this city matters to us. And so, like I said, we'll just shake it off. We're going to save lives. And then the guy just riddled, well, I saw the guy, you know, hauling ass. And I thought, when I see, this is his exact words to me. When I see people doing that, I take them on to see how my car is doing, something to that effect. This isn't the Fast and the Furious, man. It just isn't. These people watch way too much television. Think about that. When you hit anything at 110 miles an hour, you ain't going to do, the outcome is not going to be good for anybody. Anything else?
Your thoughts on security and traffic at the Democratic debate at TSU?
Avoid the area if at all possible. We've got a very robust plan put together with our friends at TSU. There's going to be a lot of people. We're going to have a heavy presence in the area. But if you don't, you need to know when I think it's at 3 o'clock that day. No, what time are we starting? At 3 o'clock, to 3 in the morning. I don't remember what time we're starting it. Do you guys remember?
Maybe.
We already put it out.
Put it out, but
I think it's 2 p.m. to 3 in the morning, that big closure around TSU. So my recommendation is, unless you need to be, if you need to be in that area, you're better off going home early that day. But just be aware, we're well prepared. It's going to be we have that visit, and then we have the Prime Minister of India coming. This is Houston, the most dynamic city in the country right now, so the police department's got a lot of work ahead of it.
En español eso, por favor, de lo del debate.
En español es extra.
Por favor.
Una tacita de café o algo. Okay. Ok, en español el debate va a ser mañana. Acuérdese que va a haber muchas carreteras que van a estar cerradas cerca de la Universidad del TSU, que las cerradas van a empezar a las 2 p.m. hasta las 3 de la mañana. Así que si vive en esa área, es mejor que, si puede irse para su casa más temprano que las 2, mejor. Pero tenga paciencia. Vamos a tener muchos oficiales trabajando para estar seguro que la seguridad pública y la seguridad de los candidatos esté bien segura. Pero acuérdese que la comunidad es nuestros ojos, nuestros oídos. Si ve algo sospechoso, si oye algo sospechoso, por favor, repórtelo. No nos importa si es, a dónde lo ve, si ve algo sospechoso, es muy importante. So, in regards to the DNC debate tomorrow, you know, the eyes continue to be our eyes and ears. Think about the times we're living in, where we know that there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of discord in our nation, and our greatest force multiplier is the public. So if you hear of any threat, you see any threat, you see something suspicious, please report it. That way we can actually take a look at it, make sure that nothing happens in our city. We don't want to be remembered for anything other than it's a great event where everything went off without a hitch. And again, our greatest asset, besides the men and women in blue, is the public that we serve. So please report any suspicious activity or behavior, not just tomorrow, but on any day. Anything else? We want to talk about, what, football now, or what are we going to?
Does this rise to a level of an internal affairs investigation? Or
It's an administrative review, yeah. And, you know, depending on, when we look at our officers' response, we look at mistakes of the mind, mistakes of the heart, we assess them, we look at their work history, we look at a lot of things. And then we take corrective action based on the totality of the circumstances and facts in this case.
Este muchacho de 18 años, hay un mensaje claro para la comunidad, sobre todo a estos jóvenes que piensan que la vida la tienen comprada y
Mira, acuérdese que cuando vean este video la comunidad, queremos que piensen, si esa niña hubiera ido unos pasitos más, este muchacho en vez de ir a estas cargas que son serias, pero no va a ir a la prisión por el resto de su vida. Ese muchacho por poco mata a una niña de 5 años. Tomen mejor decisiones, porque la decisión que tomas a no respetar la ley del tránsito puede causar la muerte de una niña inocente, y esta mamá hubiera visto a su hija matada por una persona irresponsable al frente de sus ojos. Y gracias a Dios, que ella dio gracias a Dios, no ocurrió. Pero queremos que la comunidad sepa, que piensen qué hubiera pasado a este muchacho si hubiera matado a esa niña. One more, anybody else? That hasn't?
Just what's the range of punishment then, Sean, for Mr.
Is this if mom would have caught him or official?
Different. Yeah. So this is a Class B misdemeanor. It is up to 6 months in jail, and it is the same punishment range as the racing case that the chief caught last week. I haven't tried a misdemeanor in a lot of years, but rest assured, if that one goes to trial, I'm going to try it, and I won't need to meet with the witness because he just gave his entire testimony. So that's going to be fun. You, I was appreciating your testimony already being given on your racing case.
No, they will plead out.
Hey, Mom, would you like to take a couple of questions? This is Kirk.
Come on, Mom. Mom, I want to ask you a couple questions. Oh, okay. Come on, Mom. Let me back up for Mom, just in case. Oh, yeah, where'd you find it?
From your perspective, you posted this on the social media.
Sorry.
And you ended up getting it, obviously, from the chief.
I'm sorry, can you, I'm sorry.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute, hold on a second. We don't want to cover that face. Here we go.
Tell us about how this all kind of transpired from your perspective, going from posting to social media to the chief seeing it down to making an arrest. How do you feel about this situation?
So like Chief already mentioned, the initial reaction that I received, of course, I wasn't so pleased. And me posting the video on social media, it allowed it to go viral. And the fact that it allowed it to go viral, it allowed Chief to see it on the news, which made me very happy that he wanted to take more action of what needed to be done. So I'm very happy and I'm very pleased that that HPD and all constables and state troopers and everyone in the law are taking this matter very serious. As we've seen on the news of the statistics, it's been 17,000 or 17 million times this happens per school year. So we don't want accidents, especially our children's lives are at stake when they're getting off the bus. So like I've said before, it takes 10 seconds to stop. Just stop. Just follow the law.
How's your little girl doing?
She's a tough cookie, so she's doing very well. She was more so scared that I screamed, but I told her that mommy was just scared, but she said she listens. So.
What's the first thing that you told your daughter when everything happened? It happened so quick, but what was the first thing you told her?
Well, I was pretty in shock, and she questioned me first, and she was like, "Mommy, why were you screaming?" And I was like, "Mommy was just scared, baby." And I was like, "Mom, what made you stop, Melina?" And she said, "Mommy, you said stop, so I did this." And she took some steps back. So she's a tough cookie, and she's obedient, and I give thanks to God.
Can you come to my house and teach my kids?
Thank you.
Lessons, Acevedo.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Sean, where's the hat? No UH today?
not today.
Looking sharp. I did not, no. Every time I see him at 2 o'clock in the morning,